Hey guys, welcome back. This is Donna Sharp with Holistic Wellbeing. Thank you so much for joining me here on day 466 of doing these lives. Very delighted to be here because the topic that I'm speaking on, it gives me pleasure because I know that our children of today is our adults of tomorrow. And so I wanted to share some information as far as what it involves in order to maintain strong families. And as you know, or may not know, you have more than enough time. Time is always a factor that everyone has a concern with, not having enough time to work out, not having enough time to eat right. I can just go on and go on, right? But a lot of us right now have quite a bit of time on our hand, and I'm just going to encourage you to try to use it to the best of your ability, especially now more than ever. So I'm speaking on strong family, but I've been focusing specifically on how to help those children tailor their lives and prepare them better for adulthood, right? And so I also spoke on, this is probably the fifth day I'm speaking on this topic. And I touched on different parameters that children are faced with on a daily basis that's causing them to question the adulthood. You know, they're getting involved in things or seeing things happen and they're wondering, wow, should I or should I not, right? So it's important that we develop a good base at home. I spoke on the importance of developing a foundation because nothing strong is going to be built on a poor slab, right? The foundation has to be strong because, as you know, you can't build a house on sand because you know exactly what's going to happen with that. So I started to speak last night on the don'ts. I'm speaking from a book, The 3 Steps to a Strong Family by Stephen Covey. And what he's doing is segueing his way up to explaining the main points to you. But I spoke on 3 whys and covered the whys. Why is it that we want to do this? And now I'm covering the 3 don'ts. And I covered the first one last night. So if you didn't get a chance to listen to it, I would encourage you to go back and try your best to take a look and review the information because it actually builds and expounds on one thing after the next. All right, and that way you can get a good understanding of it. So the don't that I'm speaking about tonight is first of all, it is don't try to follow every idea or suggestion exactly. Adapt things to fit your needs and style and your own insights and ideas about your children. I'm going to read that again. All right. So don't try to follow every idea or suggestion exactly. So Stephen Covey speaks on many things, but remember, it may not necessarily be your style. All right. For your family. Adapt things to fit your needs and style and your own insight and ideas about your children. So I'm going to cover some tidbits that he mentions directly from his book, and then I'm going to read a story to you so you'll have an understanding of how this all meshed together. So this book basically is set up in order. As you know, everything in life, it involves some form of order, all right? It gives you a clear idea of how they can work. Think of them as guidelines and examples. It's nice that you have the ability to think of it that way because then these are basic things that you should try to follow, and you'll see how it will actually mold and shape your existing family in as far as improving it, right? Wherever you are right now in the scheme of things, whatever you feel that you know as an adult, as a parent, it's never too late to add a couple of tidbits in there so that it will go in an even better direction, right? So think of them as guidelines and examples of how certain ideas can be implemented. Ideas are all out there, but every family is doing something different. But sometimes when you take a look out of the box and you see what someone else is doing, then you'll look back and say, oh my gosh, I didn't really think about that. Because there's plenty of ideas that none of us have because we're all uniquely made and created by God, right? So change them to work within your circumstances. Think of them as roadmaps with options. It's nice when you have a roadmap with different options that you can take, right? What if you had a roadmap that just took you one way? Okay, a train catch you, or there's traffic jam and there's no other ways to go. But it's nice when you have a roadmap and you have the side roads and the back roads and you have other ways that you can take so you don't necessarily go down the main road. It's nice to have options, right? Rather than thinking of them as a tunnel that you have to go through blindly. Can you imagine going through a tunnel blindly. Tunnels are generally not lit unless all the car lights are in there. So something to think about, right? So throughout this book, use this information to tailor Stephen Covey's methods as well as implement them. Because I will always encourage you guys to know that it's not often just okay just to listen to information that's shared with you and not necessarily take it and implement them into your own style and put them into action. You can listen all day long. I will say this to you time and time again. You can listen all day long. Listen to what someone's telling you. Listen to teachings that's coming from someone. But until you actually put the pedal to the metal and do it yourself, you will get a whole different perspective on that particular situation. So remodel them to be your own. No two families are alike. I mentioned that last night. Each family has their own style of doing things. And sometimes when you're from the outside looking in, there's things that you never actually thought about. And when you see that, you think, oh man, we weren't far from that. Maybe I can try that and see how that works. So it's nice to keep your mind open, your options open. A lot of times sometimes people feel that they have all the answers, right? As parents, and they don't need to do what the Joneses are doing. It's not about that. Everyone just has a unique style and a way of doing things. So sometimes it's okay to take a small something and implement it and just see how even more advanced your family will be, right? So research that was done for this particular book, just so you know, from Stephen Covey's book, it was actually, it includes input from families in their home-based organizations. So these are the people that he actually took this information and created and implemented this particular program that I am now sharing with you so that you can try it at home with your own family and children, right? So they took it from two parents household, right? They also took the information from single parent, blended families, step families, divorced parents. They also took it from separated families with joint custody. And as I mentioned, no two families exactly your family. So it's nice to know that the ideas that he has in this book it strictly surrounds, it's multifaceted. So it's not, oh my gosh, so this program that you develop, it's not going to work for me because, I'm a single parent, or I'm separated, or whatever the case is. So that was nice that he was able to survey several classes of people so that that the ideas that's coming from him can be used on different levels, different platforms, right? So I'm going to read the story to you before I conclude. And I like the stories because it just gives you a whole new perspective, right? So I have a wise old friend to whom I occasionally go to for advice. The reason I go, other than he is a wise old friend, is that he actually gives me specific advice. Instead of offering general platitudes or asking me if I'd consider this option or that, he listens to me and then tells me point blank and specifically what he thinks I should do. I don't always do it. In fact, sometimes I think of an idea that I know is better for me as if he is advising me to do something else. All right. So the point is that specific advice helps you to decide what to do. When you're speaking with someone, they're going to tell you a few things like this, right? So a lot of people won't give you specific advice. Here's what they do. They'll say, you might consider this, ... Or, have you thought about that, ... Or, well, I don't know. What do you think? You're asking them what they think, but they're coming to you for advice or suggestions. They don't know what to think. So how is it that you're trying to gain a response from them, right? So specific ideas cause action. When you give someone specific ideas, it allows them to get in action and start to get things accomplished, right? So even when you don't completely accept them, they often make you think of something better, right? So, and this was a short story I wanted to share with you because it just makes sense. So basically, when someone's coming to you advice, be specific. Try not to beat around the bush. Chances are you have the answer, or you're seeing things from the outside that they can actually utilize. And you're dancing around the issue because you're afraid of hurting their feelings. Why? Because if you're a true friend, you're going to be honest with them. So offer them the advice that you feel they need. We're not saying that you have all the answers. We're not saying that the decision that you might make is going to be best for them. But a lot of times when someone's from the outside looking in, they see a whole new perspective on the situation. And when you offer that to them, they'll be able to look back at it and say, you know what, I didn't look at it from that angle. I have to try that. So be very specific. All right. So as parents, you have the responsibility to decide what is best for you, your family, and your children. So again, I'm going to encourage you. This is the second don't. I'm going to read the don't again now that I've discussed the entire section so you understand. Don't try to follow every idea or suggestion exactly. Adapt things to fit your needs and style and your insights and ideas about your children. Again, no two families are alike, and it's all not going to be for you. But there are ideas out there that's outside of your own that you may be able to try and see how well it starts to improve your family dynamics. So that's all I have to speak with you tonight on. And I'm going to speak on the don't number 3 tomorrow. I'm going to encourage you, if you really like what you heard about on this live, to share it with someone in your circle that may have children, that may have a family. Guess what? That's everyone. And then that way, this gives them, it opens their eyes to start thinking about different things. Like I said, there's no time than the present to dedicate the quality time that you have at home with your family than now. So I wanted to make sure that I focus on family structure and the children especially, because we are now faced in a situation that way down the line, many things are going to be forced to be dealt with. There's going to be a lot of people that's in need of psychiatric help. There's going to be a lot of children that may need counseling. There's going to be a lot of people that may need just everything because of all the things that they face that they can't necessarily deal with because things are too hectic right now. So now more than ever, we really have to embrace our children because as they progress into adulthood, they're now experiencing something which is a mark in history. And we can't expect them to understand it if we don't. So we really have to embrace them, teach them the right ways to maybe alter their mindset so that they're on the right track to recognizing things when they come and knowing exactly how to deal with it. All right. So guys, I will be back again tomorrow with don't number 3. If you don't know who I am, my name is Donna Sharp and I'm a holistic and wellness transformational coach. And I am here to assist many people with teaching them how to live a whole life, to be the whole person, not living their life in parts, but understand that there's different dynamics that actually make up a person so that when they're riding their way through life, just like that roadmap, they're able to have the options of picking different roads that's going to encourage them to strengthen the path that they're on. So join me tomorrow as I speak about don't number 3. In the meantime, share this with someone if you like what you heard, and love if you like what you heard. And also make sure you comment. Feel free to comment. That way you can I can get an opportunity to see what your thought process is, and I'll be happy to respond and answer any questions that you may have. All right, so thank you so much for joining. I will see you back here again tomorrow. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your evening. Ciao.